mic is connected.
Okay.
Not you, okay?
That's what you mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Can I hear? Oh, say something.
Can you hear what?
From my mic on my phone. My mic on the phone.
You can't hear anything? No. Okay, so we're good? Because I'm going to restart now. All right. It's where I hear myself. Mm.
Yes, they can hear now, right? Yeah.
Or he said he can hear now. That's the audio from my phone. Probably the audio from my phone.
This is stream.
And then where did you get the prompt from? Was it in settings?
We went dark.
That's it.
That's it?
Yes.
Oh my God.
We're back.
Hello. Hey sis, can you hear me? I'm hoping you guys can hear me now. If you can, give us a thumbs up. I want to apologize for all of that, all of those technical difficulties. But guess what? We are back. And so I apologize and we want to get started. You know what the problem is, right? The problem is the technical gods don't want you to be fit for in a relationship. And so they were like, no, we want to have toxic people in toxic relationships. But again, I want to thank you so much for your patience. Thank you guys for telling us that you couldn't hear us. And so we're going to kind of start over, but not all the way over, because you were able to hear the intro. So that's awesome. Right? And so let me reintroduce. I'm sure you all know everybody here, but I'm just going to make this introduction if you're tuning in for the first time after all of that. And I want to thank, of course, my guests. They've been so patient. I appreciate it. This is us friends, right? You got good friends. And so they understand. So we're going to get started. Right here over on my right, I have my friend Tabitha Joffre, who is single and ready to mingle.
Let's stick with that.
Right, we'll go with that. And then, of course, Marriage Matters with Stephanie Burrows. And so we do have Stephanie Burrows, who is a relationship and marriage counselor. So she is going to be helping us today. And even if you're in a relationship, I still want you to pay attention because this may help you too. Don't think like, okay, well, I'm already in a relationship, so it doesn't matter. You may be doing some toxic things that we got to get rid of. And then over on my far left, we have Sherone, who is single and open. She doesn't quite know if she's ready to mingle because she don't know if, y'all could step up to the plate. You see what I'm saying? So anyways, y'all have to excuse me. I'm like, if you hear something, okay, that's good. I'm sorry about that. My necklace was interfering with the mic. Y'all know I transparent about everything, right? Just letting you know this is what happened. So I'm getting directions. And so anyway, what we were saying when you couldn't hear, listen, they talk I just want to let y'all know, they talk all their personal business when y'all couldn't hear anything. They told us everything. No, just kidding. You didn't miss anything. So we want to get right into it. So what I did ask, though, I asked both Tabitha and Sherone if they had a list of qualities or things that they were looking for. Tabitha, just give us a recap. What are you looking for in terms of a relationship?
Character. Someone that's godly. Someone that values family. And someone that is a person of their word. They're trustworthy as well. Basically, a summary of my list.
She went a little bit more. I promise you I won't rob you, though. Hopefully everybody could stay a little bit past the time that we normally do. So that let me tell y'all, Tabitha went right in. She wanted a godly man, not just a godly man, someone who have a relationship with Jesus Christ. She don't want anyone who's going to say they spiritual and she don't know who they pray into. She went right in. Don't mind, her energy is going to pick up in a moment. And Sherone, I have a book.
5 pages.
5 pages.
But it's a little book.
It don't matter, Sherone, it's 5 pages.
Back and front.
Okay, back and front. So give us just a little bit.
Well, based off what Tabitha said, I was going to continue on to that with my 5 pages back in front, I was very detailed on what I wanted. So it was literally like communication. And then I have effective communication with family, friends, others, knowing how to communicate their feelings and emotions. Because a lot of time they may be a good communicator at work and they don't talk at home or they don't know how to express their feelings. And so mine is a little more detailed. We probably, unfold a lot of those things as we continue through our
I'm intimidated. Let me tell you all something. I'm intimidated by that 5 pages. I really am. And so my question, and I want to bring Stephanie in, is it's wonderful to make a list. There's nothing, don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with you knowing what it is that you are looking for. That is important because you don't just want to be like, oh, whatever comes. That is important. But I think a lot of times what we, and Stephanie will correct me if I'm wrong, while we are so focused on looking for the characteristics of that person to be our mate, to be in a relationship with, what have we really done to make sure that we are ready for this relationship that we keep talking about? Basically, have you been working on yourself? Because if you're not working on yourself, it could be an issue. Am I right or am I wrong?
You are absolutely correct.
So help us here.
Number one. But I'm impressed and I'm happy to hear that the beautiful young ladies here in the white blouses have a list, because that is one thing I always recommend. Make a list. Because if you don't know what you're looking for, how would you know when you find it?
Right. So should the list be 5 pages?
Well, 5 pages, I haven't seen them, but she said it was a small book. But if that's a list, that's a list. But what I would also recommend is when you are making your list, I would make a negotiable and a non-negotiable. Like Ms. Joffre just said, she would like a Christian, God-fearing man. So for her, that's non-negotiable.
Right.
But maybe he could be black or white, so that they be non-negotiable.
Okay.
Because as we go on with our list, we would never probably find that exact perfect man. So how are we going to negotiate? What are the things we want to negotiate on?
Right.
So also have that. Sherone, do you have a non-negotiable and a negotiable
What
list?
she said, that's the next 5 pages.
I'm looking at the list in my head now, and I'm like,
and
that's non-negotiable.
Oh, so
Okay, so she's going to be single for a
I
while.
don't have a black or white preference, so hey, that's a
No.
negotiable.
yes. So
Okay.
yes.
But I do have a part on my list that says extra Lord. It's not mandatory, but if you add it,
So
okay.
in addition to the 5 pages, you also have an extra. Like these,
on
like
the
little
5
perks.
pages.
Right,
The
these little perks.
It's on the 5 pages.
So those would be, I guess, considered your negotiables then.
yes.
Because it won't break it if they don't have it.
Yeah.
But it'll just be a plus.
Yes.
Okay.
These 5 tiny pages.
Like I said, I'm intimidated already.
I'm gonna-
Do you think a young man out there is intimidated by the 5 pages? He might
Absolutely.
probably wonder if he could.
He just gave up.
He should
He was sitting here tuning in because, he was attracted to Sherone already. He was kind of thinking about how he was going to approach her. And then he heard 5 pages back and front.
Lord, can I meet that?
He said, give up. Right now, he just
pull up your bootstraps, young man.
All
If he's intimidated by the 5 pages, he probably shouldn't be. Yeah.
Right, it's not him.
That's your story, and you stick into it.
That's it.
Well, anyway, Stephanie, you tell us all of these lists, like I said, that we make, but what should we have on our list for us? What we need to be? We already have the list to say what we want the man to be. So, Sherone, how many pages? I'm curious. How many pages do you have for your list of what you need to be?
Like a half a page.
Okay, let me segue over here. What about you, Tabitha?
My list
Of what
I
you
need to be
yes.
is about 5 pages.
Okay.
Okay. So
Yeah.
the
It's the
question
opposite.
then is,
Mhm.
for this list, what you are looking for, that kind of man are you looking for? Are you that kind of woman he would find or he is looking for? So that's the
Yes.
question.
How you
ask
know?
yourself
That's how
too.
because I've done the work. I was getting in shape, not physically, spiritually.
Relationship fitness.
Relationship.
You were
fitness.
getting fit for this
I was
relationship.
doing the work. I've been single for going on like 2 years now.
Mhm.
And in that span of time, I was doing the work. So a lot of the things that I'm asking for, okay, don't get me wrong. The list is 5 pages back and front. But like I said, it's very detailed. So it may only be like 10 points.
But you just went into
But I
detail.
went into detail on exactly what I wanted from those points, which is how I
Okay.
normally plan every list in my life.
Okay.
And so in those lists, a lot of the things that I was asking for is who I am as an individual.
Okay.
So I've done the work and I'm still doing the work. And even when you meet the person you're supposed to be with, you're going to continuously do the work, even in your marriage and with raising kids and so forth like that. So I can say that the things I have on my list that I'm asking for, I know it isn't impossible because I'm
Doing
asking-
it.
I'm doing
You're
it.
in the process.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And Joffre?
I piggyback off what she said. I'm doing the work. I have dated, and I know what I don't want.
You know that well.
I know that well. I know a lot of like she said. I did the work. I've done some internal investigation. I have gone before the Lord and for my soul, Lord, what is it? What is in me that needs to come out? What is in me that is causing the distance between the opposite sex? Like I want this, but am I betraying this? Am I
attracting
Am
that?
I attracting?
Right.
It's like I'm noticing what I'm attracting. So is this what I have in me? Because this is not good.
Right.
And I need your assistance with getting rid of it. And it has been a journey. It has been a positive one. I've seen results. I've noticed growth and development within myself, and even with my conversations and my thought process. And I think that's very important because I am going on 40 some. Yeah, and
She's 40 plus, y'all.
Yes.
40 plus.
And in all those years, I had a list when I was Sherone's age. I had a very long, extensive list. And as I got older and past each relationship and the experience, the list got cut down and it went down and further down and further down. And then I realized, hey, you need to stop nitpicking and you need to work on you. These things that you're asking these people are do you have them? Do you possess them? You know, can you communicate effectively? Can you, what's your value system? Like what you understand, how is your relationship with God? Do you pray? Can you pray the heavens open and, the Lord comes down? You understand? So all of those things, I've done the work. I've asked God to show me, and He has shown me, and now I'm asking Him, Lord, help me to be the spouse that would
Not
be
the girlfriend.
Not the girlfriend. Help me to be the wife that is the helpmeet that you created me to be for my purpose partner. Because now I'm of the mindset. I didn't think this when I was younger.
Right.
When you marry, you're marrying your purpose partner. You're not just marrying for fun. When you connect with that individual, there's a greater purpose that both of you have come together to perform.
Right.
And that's where the connection comes in, and that's why it's so important to marry right and to do it God's way and not, I've been trying to do it my way.
And that's not working for you.
Not working.
So, Stephanie, let me ask you a question. What are some of the things then, as a person who is single, not me, y'all. Y'all know I ain't single. Y'all know I've been married for 650,000 years. Plus one, right? But what are some of the things then that we need to pay attention to? How do we know then that we are ready? And it may not be that you are 100% in every area, but you're working. So what are some of the things that we should be looking at when we're doing that soul searching like Sherone did, like Tabitha did?
To be searching within ourselves.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
Well, first, like I said, we should, from that list, see now if this kind of a man would look for me. Who am I? And then when you look introspective and ask yourself, now when I see him, would I recognize him when God present him to me? But the Bible says that he that finds a wife finds a good thing. So so
that means as a female, we shouldn't be looking?
We should have looking with one eye.
What that mean? Like this?
You're looking, but you're not searching with all your heart, but as a man, he should be searching and looking with all of his heart if he genuinely wants to get married. But then the woman, she is showing herself as a gentle woman, one who portrays great qualities, and somebody who looks like I can be attracted to them. And not just attracted physically,
Okay.
We need to see that it's beyond the physical. Who am I inside? Meaning that mentally, am I really ready for a relationship? Can I take somebody else on with me at this point?
Right.
Some of us may have been single for a while. Maybe some of us may have been single or be in and out of a relationship. I would say, wait. Put on the brakes for a little while.
Give
Check-
yourself a minute.
Give yourself a minute. Why are you hip hopping in and out and in and out?
Because I'm trying to, you know.
You're trying to find, but give yourself a break.
Okay.
Because maybe you're not sure what you want, or even when you get into it, you're just looking wrong. And I like what Joffre said, but she wants a mate. So you're not just dating for dating's sake, you're
Right.
dating with a purpose at your age and season of your
Yes.
life. And so when I see this man, is he a potential husband?
Right, right.
Because if you see some things that's not on your non-negotiable list, he could slide by. Hi and bye. I see him.
You know what, Sherone? I think you were a little too comfortable with the. She's like, when you said that you had the hand movement waiting.
It goes into, like I always say, when you know what it is internally, when you've done the work. I had this thing, I said it this year, when I put down dating and I picked up my Bible, dating became so easy because initially, when I was dating, it was like, okay, well, this is a nice person. He look decent. He got a job. You look like a little educated. And then I was like, this ain't making no sense because then character comes into play.
Right,
and they're not a
right.
genuine person and they moral compass a little off. And so when I put down dating, picked up my Bible and I opened up and got extremely close to God. When I decided that I wanted to pick up dating again, it was easy because I would look at somebody and be like, that ain't it. That ain't it.
Mhm.
It didn't take a whole month of dating or courting for us to realize that this isn't it. I could meet you and have one conversation with you and I could tell you, this ain't it.
Not for you.
And I always tell people, the goal isn't to be attracted or to many persons. It's only one person you can marry.
Yes.
And so you shouldn't be out here trying to make it work with 10, 20 different people. As people like to say, dating. You have to intentionally date, especially when you're looking for marriage as the outcome. You could date somebody, plenty of people in relationships right now, and they know this ain't a lead to marriage, but I just need somebody as
Maybe
a
they
companionship.
lonely. Right.
And that's well within your rights. But for persons who are looking for marriage, you don't just date 1,000 people and be like, okay, that's the one. But if you know what you're looking for as an individual and what you're looking for in a spouse, you don't have to date 1,000 people to figure that out.
Right.
You can have conversations with people as you go along and move throughout your life and be like, okay, this isn't it. And so my dating compass is very easy for me.
Okay.
And so I fully agree that you don't have to be out here just about and everywhere trying to
Relationship.
figure it out.
But so Stephanie, what I wanted to ask you in being fit, we talking about relationship fitness.
Mhm.
You were dating. Tabitha said it. Sherone said it. A lot of people say they want to be intentional with a purpose. So is that something that you should lead with, and even having a conversation that I'm not looking to date. I'm looking to get married. No.
Yeah, no.
Anyway, I want to hear. I
Strong.
want to hear from the relationship and marriage counselor, please.
No, you would not say that up front,
Okay.
but you will get to know the person and get him comfortable and
Mhm.
get you comfortable. And I'm saying him and her because
Right.
ladies here. And then you get to know each other. And that is conversation. Too many times people feel as though they know each other. And you would ask them a simple question, maybe is, does he have a passport? Or a visa? And they've never discussed anything like that. And then they're deep in the relationship and find out that the partner cannot travel.
Right.
So the conversation, what are you talking about? What are your goals and visions together? Where do you want to see yourself in 5 years and 10 years? Those are the things you talk about. Not just, well, okay, you have a job. That's good. You work in one of the good plants. I like that. Oh, yes, you love God. People could love God, but do not know how to manage money.
That's true.
So if he's always broke, always got to borrow from somebody, and you hear him talking about that, then you know, okay, there's a red flag, I call it,
Right.
right there.
Church man.
But what about you? Suppose, I mean, that's what you're looking for, but what if you're the person who don't manage money?
Well, that is something that you have to say that within yourself.
Right.
Because
There has to be a
most
level of
us women,
honesty.
right,
Mhm.
we love to shop.
Okay.
We
Mhm.
like those credit cards. And the thing about it is that if you, whoever, whether it's the man or the woman, whoever you marry all of their debt and all, everything they have.
Right.
You included with that. Ooh. Yes. So that's why I say conversation is so important. So you yourself have to know now what I want to know from him. What is important for me to know that I know would make this relationship work? So what is it for you? I hear Sherone Brown talking about, and it's very good, a leader. So to me, a spiritual man. So to me, they're looking for a spiritual leader. So I would look now at the book of Joseph. Joseph was a good leader. God used him. So the qualities in Joseph, are you seeing that in that man? And it could be Mary's husband, and it could be Joseph, who was in Potiphar's house. Because the Bible tells us about Joseph, who covered Mary. You know, when she was pregnant, he didn't go there. So what kind of man is he? Would he cover me? Would he protect me? Or would he spill all of my my negativity to others? Right. So how is he protecting me? So when you are having this conversation, know what you want to ask and know when you hear a red flag.
Wow.
A red flag of how many times he been dating. A red flag is, how you got in my bag? Why are you searching my phone?
Because he loves you.
So why are you searching my phone?
Because he loves you and he's jealous. He's possessive.
Okay,
that ain't cute.
Okay, so that's what I'm trying to say now.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The haircut.
That's what
no, she sound like
it's not.
That's right.
It's not cute.
No, so those are the things you try to
But what
listen.
about if you want to search his phone?
Why? So then that shows me already as a lack of trust. It's a lack of trust. Why are you searching his phone?
You feel like you have to do that.
If you
have to do that, don't you just get out.
No, but
you may not even be in the relationship. What I'm really trying to get at is, okay, are these the things that, because we sometimes have toxic traits within ourselves, right?
Agreed.
He may not be interested in searching your phone, but you may want to search his phone. But you say but you say you're ready for a relationship. If you WhatsApp him and he don't answer right away, you don't think to yourself realistic, right? Yeah. That's why I'm saying. So are you ready? Because that's what I want us to get at. Because there are some
you
things.
have trust issues as an individual that you need to deal with before you start dating.
But you're ready. But you say you're ready.
But it's very important for women, especially. Well, men too, because some men experience it and talk about it in relationships where they're insecure. So things like security, self-esteem, and all of those things, you need to work on those things when you're single, because it's not your spouse or partner's job to make you feel comfortable within yourself. That's your job. Right. You're supposed to make yourself feel comfortable with you, not your partner. Amen. They're supposed to add and compliment you when they come. They're not coming to fix you. This is not a laying on the couch situation. No, when you get married to someone, you become partners in your purpose. So
that means
I just went to say
and becoming partners with a purpose. But many times you get to know the real me when you start living with me.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
for sure.
And so in those times, what happened? So in those times when we're getting to know each other, and if it's like the Bible says, like iron sharpens iron, fire flies. When iron and two irons are rubbing together, and
you
it's
see the
sparks go. And you rub together, and it burns, and it gets hot, and friction happens. So, but that's okay. You work through it. You don't bow out quickly, because if both of you really want this marriage to work, both of you would work at it. I've never seen a marriage work when both parties, both spouses really wanted it to work. If one didn't want it to work, then you have trouble on your hand. But remember always, even though this man may fulfill the 5 pages that Sherone has, friction will happen.
It will still happen.
It will come.
Still happen.
So we have to know how to navigate when they come, work through it, and even find a third party if we have to, because it doesn't matter your age, how much money you spend, where the two you all are from, how much education you have. Trouble will come.
That's
some point.
inevitable.
So you have to now know, how am I going to handle it when it comes?
When it comes.
How good am I at conflict management? How good am I
Right.
at speaking? What words come out when my lemon is being squeezed?
Right, right.
Am I cursing? Am I calling names? Am I pouting? Am I slamming the door? Do I jump in the car and leave?
Because if that's who you are
If that's
before
who
the
you are.
relationship,
Most
that's
likely
gonna
it's gonna
come out.
magnify, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's gonna come
it
out.
doesn't matter how much that 5-page fit him, friction will happen. So we
Trouble's
have to
coming.
be prepared for that. So you ask yourself, how do I manage it? When I'm with a friend or in my family, how am I handling conflict? If something happens on my job, how am I handling that conflict? If something rubbed me the wrong way, what do I say? I'm a Christian, some words come out. Yeah. But what do I say? How do I respect this man? Does he feel like a king when he is around me? How do I make him feel?
Powerful.
Respecting him. How do I address him? What do I say? Not just always how does he address me, but how am I addressing him? How am I speaking about him around my friends? Does my friends like him? My family like him? And if they have a problem, then you need to think about that. Because when you marry Mr. Right, you marry all of Mr. Right family. You can't just segregate Mr. Right from his family.
Right,
That's his
right.
family.
That's a part of it. So let me ask you, this is good stuff. Listen, send us some comments if you're enjoying this. If you have any questions, we have Stephanie Burrows right here. Let's be honest. Let's ask these questions. How do you navigate? Let's say you are a person you've been in, and it doesn't have to be many, but you've been in a relationship or a couple of relationships that were very unhealthy, right? How do you make sure that you don't take kind of that baggage, you know what I mean, with you? You don't, so that you don't poison or sabotage this next relationship that is you would like to lead to marriage.
I think something Tabitha asked me earlier. She asked me, okay, if I would counsel single ladies, and I told her yes. Many times they need somebody to assist or help along, to be the mirror for them. Because what I have noticed in my counseling is a lot of females choose males who were like their father. And so if their father was an alcoholic or abusive, they kind of bend towards that. Not intentionally, you know,
Right.
but it seems like the spirits that connect. If my father was a workaholic, I married this man because, whoa, that's a quality I like. But then when I'm married, I find out like, oh, that really wasn't what I wanted. I loved that he was a worker, but now he's not spending any time with me. So when we're in a relationship, hear what our friends are saying. Come to counseling to hear, what is my bent? What kind of man I'm attracted to because of my past or what I was going through. And then you look at the history of who you had been with, for how long, and why you was attracted to them. Is it because that you thought they were so educated, or you thought that they were just so nice looking, or you thought too that, boy, they remind me of my dad. But what qualities did your dad have? What did your mom go through that you probably don't want to go through, or you didn't even see what she went through? So have someone, an accountability partner, somebody who's a good friend and can say to you, hey, I'm not sure about this one for you right now.
Someone who will say, or who will not only say that, but you agree with someone who will say, I don't know if you're ready. I don't know if you're ready.
If you, like I said, it has been a long time, or have you been in and out of relationships? And if you have, How desperate are you showing yourself? Most men don't
Oh, wow.
want to see a woman looking so desperate. That runs. Oh,
What does desperation look like?
desperation
Looks like 5 pages, back and front. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It was
that's
just
a
a
little
joke.
bit.
Yeah, it was just a joke. It was just a joke. Yeah, but what does it look
I
like?
find out
to
To
myself.
Sherone, I'm finding out that she's a detailed person.
Right.
So that's probably why she has this 5 pages, because she's
Very
not just putting communication or godly. She's saying how she wants him to be godly, how she wants him to communicate. So all of that brought her 5 pages.
Right.
So I'm just hoping that this man she may find can also take up on those details.
If I be
Okay.
completely transparent, this is what triggered being intentional about the list. Most married people that I spoke to who had a list, they would always say, listen, God give me everything on my list except the one thing I didn't ask for. So now I'm like, I ain't giving no space for you
You're
to
not
miss nothing
leaving
off the list.
But
And then,
go ahead.
sorry, and then I had a situation where with Tabitha said throughout her dating, once she came out of a relationship, her list got shorter. Throughout my dating, my list got more intentional. My list got longer because now the last relationship I was in, I literally had maybe like 13 things: communication, spiritual, whatever. I graded the person. They got a 7 out of 13. I was like, that's a pass. Let's go. And then I realized when I came out of that relationship, I was like, I gotta be direct on what I'm asking for. Because now I give you a 7 out of 13 pass. That wasn't working out because I wasn't specific on what I was asking for. A communicator, he might have been communicating with his friends. He wasn't communicating with me.
Right.
He doesn't know how to express his feelings. He never had to at home. He don't know how to in a relationship. He wasn't ready as an individual for a relationship. So I felt like I was the therapist and he was on the couch. And the whole relationship felt like that.
said.
It's just what you
And
said.
that becomes draining. We sell ourselves this idea that we could work with that.
Right,
could fix that up.
We could and be settling.
And then in the process of trying to fix the situation, you get mad and be like,
And
I can't
diet.
deal with this.
Yeah.
Why am I putting in all this additional work? I told someone before, I'm like, this is harsh, but I was like, I'm not trying to fill in the gaps where your parents left off. I'm not here to parent you. If your parents miss some gaps, we're now in this tricky generation where we're way more aware than our parents were with some of the places
Right.
their parents fell off. So
Definitely.
it's time for us to do the work. We can't keep putting the blame or the responsibility on other people to help us fix up ourselves, because what ends up happening is I date Miss Burrows. She fixed me a little bit. She patched me up. We finish there. I move on. You patch me up. And now when you look Tabitha, get all the work we put in. And how much times that has happened?
Yeah.
But as individuals, we need to step back and be like, listen, this might trigger. This I need to fix. This is an issue I have.
Right.
When I communicate, I don't slam doors. I shut down. I stop talking. And so now I'm still not effectively communicating. So it's not on an extent of me being on 10. I go to 0. I just don't say anything. And then you let it bottle up until you start breaking up the house.
So I would say, Sherone, I would say then the most important thing and you could let me know, Stephanie, if you agree, or one of the most important things is going into this relationship, know yourself.
Yes.
First,
You have
and
to
be
know yourself.
contented with who you are.
Yes.
Because even if you know
I
yourself,
think
you
gotta
might be
say that
thinking,
again.
you might be thinking, I know me, but just okay. Because some people, I'm short patience. So you just
And that's
take
it.
Yes.
Right.
So know yourself and be contented with who you are. Happy with yourself. Happy.
But they may be happy with short patience. It just ain't working in a relationship.
Exactly. Exactly. That is the point.
Some people are better. This just me. Take it or
me.
leave
Yes.
it. But you
Depending on where you
notice,
leave it.
but you notice
and you have-
a lot of leaving is happening.
Right,
here.
but then you have some people that they say this, they're gonna pick you crazy. Pick what you could deal with. Like some people, the shorter patience may not bother them, whereas they could go in that direction. But Sherone will be like, yeah, no, I can't deal with that.
And I think also though, but we have to be honest about everybody, whether you admit it to anyone, you know what your shortcomings are.
Yes.
You know what your triggers are. You know what your shortcomings may be. These are the things that you're going to need to work on,
I
right?
would say
Go ahead.
sometimes we do not know our shortcomings.
We don't.
No.
Some people are
that's-
oblivious bad.
Okay.
Right. So that's I would
Probably
say somebody who you can look in
You
the
said
mirror
that's
with you,
right.
or
Yeah,
accountability
yeah,
partner.
an accountability
Many times we
partner.
don't. And sometimes two friends would tell us, or our parents, and we still denying it. No,
Yeah.
I'm not like that.
Do we find a
You're so
reason? No, that's
emotional.
just them.
No, I'm not like that. I'm not like that.
But
Why
that's you being open to do the work.
Yeah.
For me,
Being self-aware.
I went through a period where I used to be like, okay, maybe it is me.
Mhm.
A lot of people don't have that moment. I literally used to be like, okay, maybe it is me. And then I would ask somebody and I would present them the situation and be like, am I wrong? Because a lot of times in our head, we
You
right.
full
Of course,
100.
all the
Always
time.
right.
All the time.
And you have to know yourself as a person before you get into a relationship, because I've heard a lot of people that went into relationships and they lost themselves when they had to start over. A lot of people hitch themselves onto that wagon, and then when it's time for them to go their separate ways, it's like, I got to figure myself out all over again, because I wasn't firm in who I was as an individual. When I went into a relationship, I ended up losing who I was completely when I ended up bending and making compromises for the person I was dating.
Right.
But for me,
So, Stephanie,
Yeah, know
do you
yourself.
think, would it be wise if you're at a place where you feel like, you know what, I'm ready for a relationship, I'd like to be in a relationship, would it be wise for you, if you don't have an accountability partner, to maybe see a counselor?
Correct.
Like, I think it was
Correct.
Tabitha who said
Yes.
there's counsel someone who's single.
And let them kind of point out some things they may see, or question me with some hard questions.
Right.
Me some hard questions, you know, because many people are afraid of the hard questions, but you need to deal with it, and we can balance this out. You know,
Okay.
we're talking about the list,
Mhm.
but the non-negotiables, the negotiables, but we may not find the person what all on our list. So if we are married, that is when we come into an agreement that we're going to make this marriage work no matter what. He may be or she may be the person, all of the qualities on the list, but then when you're married, you find out some other things. But once you two are committed and remember the vows that you had made on that day, for better, for worse, for richer or poorer, in sickness and in health. And
Did
the
you
two
just,
of you,
I gotta stop you. When you said for richer or poorer,
Yes.
Sherone went, no. Sherone, you're not ready. Because really, for richer
or for
life
poorer.
happens. Unforeseen circumstances
I
happen, and your
know.
financial position could change at any moment.
God's still working on me.
Okay.
So you
But
see,
I'm a person that's
she's
very
getting
stern
fit.
in my
She's getting fit.
finances.
Yeah, but
So I
it may
try to
not
help us
be.
not get to poor.
No, it may not be through bad decisions.
I know.
Yeah.
You know,
Just life.
it's life.
be
It
anything.
happens.
Yes,
You know, you
sickness.
could sickness.
A fire
Anybody
in the
who's been
house.
sick, that will eat you right up,
Yes.
even with insurance, because a lot of people, and this has nothing to do with, a lot of people don't realize that your health insurance carries a certain amount of value.
That's
If
right.
you have a chronic illness, or you have an illness that requires a lot of medical attention, that could
cut
eat.
you off.
You could have $1 million policy, and that could go like that.
Yes.
And then now you
Yes.
dipping into
Yes.
all your finances, which you were so strict about
Mhm.
saving, you now have to dip into it. So you
Mhm.
could, your circumstance could change through no real fault of your own.
Yes.
And so you know, you
Well,
got to think about that.
Of
Working on
course. Yes. Yes. She's getting fit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you getting
so
fit.
she's getting
We
fit.
didn't
That's
say
okay.
we didn't
Working
say you had to. You was
Mhm.
coming here fit. We
She's
say you're
getting-
working on your
Yes, and
fitness.
we're trying to help them know how to get
Right.
fit.
The thing
That's
is, you
right.
never stop working on it.
No,
No.
that's why I said
Yeah,
even if
it's a
you
constant.
find the perfect person, when you get into the relationship,
Plenty
you
work there to do.
continue working with each other.
Mhm.
Because I have heard of couples who have gotten married and then the man got paralyzed from the waist down.
Mhm.
What you gonna do? Leave? We've already said, until death do us part. So you work it out. So we look at the list, the negotiables and non-negotiables, but then yet what comes after the marriage? What comes after we have made the covenant and the vows in front of God and family and friends? How willing are we to go for better or for worse? And these days, we don't know how worse or the worse gonna get. And so we have to be prepared within ourselves and confident to say, I have made the vows, and so I'm going to stick with it. No-
Because that's basically the because I noticed the topic that she chose. She said, "Are you ready for a committed?" She made sure put committed before relationship because a lot of people walking around here in relationships and they're not committed.
Right.
Because the minute something happens, part ways.
But a lot of people do not want to be committed. A lot of people don't want a relationship.
That's so
A lot of people just want a date, play
Yes.
date. I have you on for dinner tonight. Next week, I'm going to get somebody else. They don't want to be committed. That's not the ones I gather you all are looking for or getting fit for that relationship. Those, they don't care. They don't mind. Everybody does not want to get married. And especially to me now, it looks like the males. They not, all of them don't want to get married. And you know what? It is okay. And it's probably best they stay there by themselves. because
They may know why they don't want to get married.
Hello.
Right.
That's
They're
right.
still doing the work.
Yes, they don't want to get married. So we have to respect that too.
Right.
Everybody don't want to be there. So if you're ready, they ought to know when they're ready for the commitment, because it is a serious commitment. And you know, when I realized one day how serious it is, I got married at the age of 24. Married to one man, okay, out of my parents' house. And now I have been married for 40 years. I have been with that man longer than I have been with my parents.
That's right.
Wow.
So you see the type of commitment you need to have.
Absolutely.
Your parents bring you up, they love you, they protect you, they help you, they guide you, and they help you get educated. And now you're with this man. You think you just stop there? No. You keep going. And now, and you shop, like I said, iron sharpen iron, and the commitment you keep remembering. And you know, Sherone and Miss Joffre, they're saying they're different ages. That's good. And in your list, remember your list can change according to the season of your life.
Yeah.
It could get longer.
It's all
it could
right.
get shorter.
Yeah.
That's fine to change your list.
So, sisterhood, if you made a list at 18 and you are now 29, it's okay to revise that list.
Mm.
You know, sometimes we get like, this is it and this is what I'm looking for, and you keep it, and it doesn't even match who you are as a person anymore because you've grown, you've changed. And the lessons that you've learned over the course of this life, not even in relationships, just in general, the lessons that you've learned, you've had to make adjustments, and that is okay. There's some things, yes, that you will remain the same, but there are certain things that you may have to change simply because now, based on your own experiences, you have a different outlook, and that's okay.
Yes, if you made a list when you was 25 years old and you wanted this man and you know everything, now you are 40, 45, that list may look different because back then you say, I want a single man, tall, dark, and handsome, and who
No
have
kids.
this. Now, and no kids. Now
Fix that
at
all.
40,
Plenty people
45, you think you can find no kids? You might have to say, okay, it's all right if he's divorced. It's okay if he have one or
Yeah.
two children
And they're
because and they're
That's
going. Yes.
Right.
Right. You have to be realistic.
Right.
That is what is happening out there. So if you find a 40-year-old single man who is committed to God, have no children and everything, man, grab him quick. Keep on with him. You know, and get him so that you can groom him and y'all can sharpen each other because it is rare.
Grab him quick.
I can tell you,
Scoop it.
it is rare. Who is not in jail, who is not a woman, who is not already married, who is not dead, who is not transgender, who is not.
It's so much.
It just lessens.
Yeah, it's so much. It's so much.
It
It's so
lessens
much.
the percentage. So
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would say, as your list go on, if you 45 and say, now I want a man with no children, never been married, and a virgin and everything, I mean, that's good. I'm not saying you should not.
Right.
But you might have to say, you know what, I'll negotiate if he have one or two children.
Right.
Go with the country.
If his wife had to die. Okay,
Yeah.
He may
things
not
like
be a bohemian no more. He may be somebody else.
yeah, life happens.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I always wanted to make a Bahamas.
You can.
Yes, so that
Sherone,
you can
see?
have avenues where
right.
you
You
can
don't know
meet.
who's out there.
I've
Yes.
been on the dating apps.
That's fine.
The
I
same people
think.
who are on Facebook, it actually works. The people who you think in relationships on them dating apps.
Exactly.
Wow.
So how do you know? And the
Yeah,
dating
yeah.
apps doesn't mean that you are in a serious or committed relationship. It's just that you're getting to know
people.
people, and the world is getting smaller.
It is.
Yeah.
You know, I have met couples who've met each other on dating apps, and they were both Bahamians.
Yes.
Wow,
I have a cousin
wow.
that
You
got
have a
married
cousin like that?
in
Okay.
COVID. They met in COVID, got married in COVID.
Online, and met online.
Wow.
On a Bahamian dating app. And
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's possible. So explore your avenues and don't stay home. If you're just staying home, how are you gonna meet people?
I'm working on that.
Yeah.
Okay. But I wouldn't say go all over, but
Yeah.
But you gotta go
But
somewhere.
you gotta
after
go
that.
when we were
outside.
small,
Yeah.
we used to go to every funeral. Every funeral, the younger,
There you
that
go.
teenage,
You gotta
that's when
go
you meet
outside.
them. Yes.
You gotta go
Go somewhere.
outside.
Yes.
He don't know to come and knock on your door and say, "Hey,
Hi.
No.
hey, you was
Sherone
waiting
there?
for me."
Yeah, right.
You don't know where you live. You gotta go
there.
outside.
Yeah. And present yourself as friendly. I have seen
Mm.
girls where a guy was there, and nudge him and smile, do a little bit more smiling. And
I
she's
don't-
just like,
I
what
don't
you
smile.
talking about? You don't smile?
I don't smile.
Oh,
Okay.
you look like
Right.
a smiler.
No, but I'm just saying they would say that.
Yes.
But and
yes.
you're not and again, we're not saying to pretend to be someone you are not, but what we are saying is you have to be approachable.
Exactly.
You have to be
friendly.
approachable.
Yes.
And you could say a smiling no. You could say a smiling not interested. You could say
No.
all of that.
No.
Be
Not
respectful.
interested.
Not
Be
interested.
respectful.
There you go.
We got it.
Yeah.
We got
You
it.
can still do that.
And now the question comes up, should I give him my number or shouldn't I give him my number? Because, the guy might meet you in the bank or somewhere and see you say,
The business number. You could always block them when
okay,
they're
Yeah,
late.
right,
pretty
you
much.
could give it right. That's a good idea. And that's what I would
Yeah,
I've
suggest
learned
too.
that.
You don't have to answer every phone call.
Just because the person called don't
Yeah.
mean you have
And
to
you
pick
don't have
up.
to go on every date. I told
No.
someone that you do not have to date every guy that's interested.
Oh,
Right.
yes. So ask you for
Wow,
a
I
date.
love
That
that.
is the truth. That is the truth. Get to know and ask questions and ask around also. Because you may meet somebody for the first time, you have never seen him. Wow, he looks good. He smells good. He's talking well. But then the lady down the street,
A
she got
whole different.
a whole
Yeah,
new.
well,
I gotta
Sorry.
read this comment. Say,
Okay.
take those limits off, God, please. If he's in the spirit, he can be led right to my front door. Oh my goodness.
Come right there.
Listen,
Okay.
we were in this conversation, and so I see. Let me see. He's not sure he could even. You're not even sure he could count. Ask the difficult questions. Both
That's
parties should. Hi, Vanita, who's watching from Nassau, and Alicia DeVoe. Great conversation. We need more of these. Hi, Linda. Y'all know I like to shout everybody out. Alita, Lakeisha. So I just wanted to shout those people out. But yeah, absolutely. I like that. Say if he's spirit led, he could be led right to my door.
If he met Sherone, he might be plumber coming to fix something.
That's right. That's right.
Everybody who's working with their hands,
On
they make
cable,
plenty money.
you
That's
never
right.
know. That's true.
That's right. Yeah, he's working.
You're knocking that.
So how honest with Stephanie, how honest do we need to be with ourselves though about whether, because you may be thinking that you're ready for a relationship and you really may not be.
Right. One of the questions too, or what I would say, you watch to see how they manage monies, because monies is one of the things really that causes havoc in a marriage.
Oh, for sure.
Usually you have a spender and you have a saver,
Mhm.
but they still have to know how to balance that. But if both are spenders, then who is paying the bills?
Right.
If both are
Lord.
savers,
Then how you enjoying?
how are you
Right.
enjoying life?
Right.
So know who you are, like who are you? How do you spend money? And see what kind of budget. How are you working with your budget? That is a way for you to know how you spend money.
I mean,
Some of-
somebody out of the two got to know how to budget.
That's
That's
exactly. Somebody have to know. And then if someone knows, even if it's the wife who knows how to budget and the husband doesn't, it's nothing wrong with him allowing her to manage the money.
Yeah. I want to, and you know, I want to say that I'm not a counselor, but I say work to your strengths. Work to your strengths together. That was an excellent point. If
Yes.
you know, like I'm saying this, and I can say this out loud, I'm the money manager. Not that Mark is wasteful with money, but he feels like I have a better handle on it. And that's okay, right? That's okay. Mark is the one who says, Laverne, you still have to live, because I'll pay every bill and not live. And but you need that balance.
You need the balance.
You need that balance. Oh no, no, we don't have to. You
But
could live.
that's
You
good.
could live, you know, and so we balance each other
That's very
out.
good.
And so, but you have to kind of know yourself. So don't pretend as if you have it together and you know you live in paycheck to paycheck,
Yes.
not because you don't make enough money, but because you spend so much money. Don't sit there and pretend as if, you know.
And that's good that Mark recognizes that in you and respects that and accepts it.
Yes.
A lot of people don't accept
Exactly.
it.
Right.
Yeah,
That's
they're
why I
heavy
said
on-
that.
Mark is the doer. You say it, he have the plan. This is how we're gonna execute.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
That's your strong suit.
Yeah, you're the minister of finance. That's fine. Yeah.
He's the minister of work.
Yes,
There you go.
we need that all
Be
in
in
the marriage.
parliament.
That's
Yes.
right.
That's with knowing your strength and your weakness. A lot of
And
people don't like to accept their weaknesses.
That's
Yeah.
right back to that.
Even in knowing, you have some relationships where a person will complain and say, he's just so traditional. Even though he knows I'm better with the money, he still feels it's the man's job. I'm the head of the house. And you have some people that are stuck on that, and they don't give room for flexibility to make the marriage work and to make it to be the best relationship it can be by doing that instead. Because you know the man may be better at cooking. Her cooking may not taste all that good. He may be better at it. So why not? You know,
Switch up.
understand what I'm saying?
Switch up,
Not
yes.
have
And
an
I
issue with
think,
that.
and I think when it comes to money, you won't know everything, but even before you get married, as you get closer and you two are more together in the relationship, I think you kind of get a sense of
You can almost see that before you get married.
right.
You know, the red flags. If you hear, he said, oh, what, your mom's birthday today? Gee, I got to go play that. Ooh, your
Go
sister
wrap up
birthday
my
tomorrow,
money
you
in
want to
them
go play
numbers.
that. So you have to know, and then you say,
Well, you
oh,
gamble.
I just need a
You have a
slow
problem.
20 to help me till the end of the month. And then the question now, you have a friend, oh, he borrowed that. That's showing you right then before you even get married, a red flag. It doesn't sound like he can manage money as well.
Don't
So-
ask me for nothing to lose.
Okay. Well,
She's a work in progress. She's a work in progress.
no,
You take the
No.
guy and the guy asks me for a slow 20,
no,
run.
yes,
Yeah.
why you
Right.
need that?
Why suppose he just
How
ran
long
into
we start
You are
something?
harboring bombs.
How long we start dating? You asking me to borrow a slow 20? Like,
And that
Mini
happens
Joneses. That's what
That
they are.
happens.
Run.
because these days some women do not mind supporting a man.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Yes, some do not
And
mind.
a lot of men don't have that kind of pride. They are willingly loafing off of females.
Yeah, she willing to give it
I'll
to me
need to
and
see
she
the
has
data
it.
on that because you say a lot. You have any data?
Younger men, there are a lot of men out here who don't mind females. If a female,
notice she said
women
younger.
out here purchase, some men, the older ones, they crafty with it. But some females out here buying guys' attention.
Yes, yes.
Some dudes will be like, you gotta go in your pocket for nothing. These other dudes, so we can't split the belly.
Yeah.
Or we ain't going half, or when you look, you going from half to pay it all,
75,
and they
and
ain't
then you paying
stopping you.
100%.
They want you buy all them shoes and things. Also, you been away, you don't buy me no just because gift. They
Yes, yes,
they
yes,
loafing.
yes.
There's a lot of them loafing.
Do you think you could marry somebody who makes less than you do? Less money. His salary is lower than yours.
I tried. It wasn't an issue for me. It was an issue for them. Their emotions was attached to their money.
How
I
they
wasn't-
saw themselves.
Yes.
So it became, it wasn't a problem for you, but it was a problem for them.
Yes.
Before we go any further, I have a correction to make. I'm being told by Mark Gardner that he is the Prime Minister. He's not the Minister of Works. He's the Prime Minister. And Dr. Burrows is saying some folks feel like living together before marriage enhances their chances of success. You,
No. No.
Everybody on the panel is saying
The
no.
devil always happy when you're doing it out of the way, the will
That's
of
right.
God.
That's
Yeah.
right.
As soon as y'all go cross that line, get married, now all of a sudden living together is just crazy.
Yeah.
Statistics have shown that those type of marriages are living together before marriage, the life length of the marriage is not that long.
I
Because
wonder
as soon as
why.
they get married.
I wonder why. You know?
We always make this example for us, my husband and I, when we are counseling. It's like when we were selling a house at one point,
Okay.
and then the person who wanted the house, who was interested, asked if they could come and live in the house, and then they could always pay us after a while. The bank is getting their finances together,
Mm-hmm.
and the realtor said to us, "Do not do that.
Mm.
When they come and live in your house and they haven't paid yet, they would find every fault.
Mm.
And they will be complaining to you every time. But if they've already paid and they're in the house, then they will, whatever they see, they will repair it and make it work."
Okay.
So many times before the marriage, they could see all the faults. But then after the marriage, if you're already married before you see everything, you will work harder at fixing it and repairing it, because you say, "I'm already in it, so let us see how we can work best at it." So, and it's sad to say too, statistics also show that the millennials and today, the increase of cohabitating is very high.
Because
Very
they're
high.
saying
They're
why,
trying it
you
out.
know?
They're
trying it out for
Yeah,
whatever
that's how they-
reason.
and you know
just
what?
in case.
They're trying it out, but
so-
some of them are together with not wanting a commitment later. They're just we
They're
gonna live together.
content. They are
I know.
content.
But why get married if we're living together and everything
That's
is
what they
happening
say.
fine?
We're doing everything. We have a child together.
Yeah. We have a-
We purchased a
some
home
even,
together.
right.
We're doing all of this, so we do not
And we're
need
doing well.
marriage, and we're doing well, and
Yes.
we're getting along.
You know,
And
that's
the
a red
sad
flag
thing-
to me.
It is
I've
because
seen a lot of people that have gotten married and they've done all the things first. And I was like, these dudes would give you all everything you're asking for except a ring. That's a red flag.
Okay.
For
They'll give you a car, they'll give you a house, they'll give you plenty children before they marry you.
No ring.
No attachment, because you know why? At any point,
they
I
could
can
leave.
pick up and I could leave, whether it's with this house, with this car, with these children. I can leave you with those things.
Yes.
Mhm.
But marriage, the
you
law
less,
had it
yeah,
together.
you feel
Mhm.
more inclined, maybe
And
like
then
you
too,
said,
you're
to work.
not protected as the partner, because if something was to happen to you, God forbid, you drop down dead. We have a house together, but
special friend.
you're
In the
the special
obituary.
friend in the
In the
obituary.
obituary.
Like,
Halfway down
Remember
to the
by a
bottom.
special
Yes,
friend.
and
If
who's-
they put you,
and the fact
They like you.
whoever they
That's
put
right.
the house, the name of the house in, that person coming to tell you, "Oh, you got 30 days.
to get
You
Yes.
got to pack up and get out my
Yes.
place."
So you have to be careful.
So you have to be careful with that as well.
Well, I went over time intentionally because we had to make up. But before we wrap up, I just want to give Stephanie an opportunity. If there's anything else maybe that you want to say about being relationship fit, maybe that we didn't touch on, I want to go ahead and give you that opportunity.
Okay, thank you. What I would say to anyone who's in a relationship, look out for red flags. Red flags are things that can, like I said earlier, can they manage money? Are they giving you a push or a pinch? Because that leads to abuse. How controlling is this person? Do they have to know where you are every minute? How jealous is this person? What are they addicted to? Are they over their ex yet? Or are they always talking about their ex or comparing you to their ex? Look out for the red flags before you make that serious commitment.
Thank you. You heard that. Look out for those red flags. And I also want to encourage you, those red flags that you are looking out for of that person, ask yourself those same questions.
That's
How good are
right.
you at money? Are you pinching and pushing?
That's
Are
right.
you, and so you have to,
Controlling.
are you controlling?
Yes,
So you have to ask yourself those questions
Mhm.
and be honest. Don't just ask yourself. And as Stephanie said, have an accountability partner. You may not go to a counselor, but there's nothing wrong. And I really like to push that there's nothing wrong with seeing a counselor. Sometimes we put such a stigma on that, but
That's
you
right.
need that additional voice that says, hey, I see you going down that a road that could be destructive. And so we really have to begin to not only look out for those things. There was a saying that says that be sure the weapon that's formed against you is in you. And so you have to be careful that you are not sabotaging yourself simply because you're not in the place. I read something as I was researching this that said, are you ready for a relationship or are you just lonely?
Good question.
And you have to ask yourself that question, because if the only thing that is pushing you is that you were lonely, that means that you could settle for anything or anybody. And then it may also cause you, like Sherone said, that's desperate. You lonely and you just want someone. I just want someone. No. Work on yourself. Are you ever going to reach perfection? No. But at least if you begin to be honest and recognize maybe where their issues are, you could begin to address them and work on them so that you go into the relationship as a healthy person. And then you could begin to build a healthy relationship. So I want to thank you guys so much for your patience. Again, we apologize for our technical difficulties. Stephanie, I'm looking forward to having you back, hopefully, if the schedule. Please, Dr. Burrows, I'm begging you publicly. I'm going to need her again because we want to talk about marriage next. We want to delve into marriage because we're going to do a relationship series here. So we talked about being fit, but the next episode we'd really love to talk about is marriage and getting into that. So maybe we'll have them back on. Maybe by then y'all will be married.
Yes, we're going to pray
Listen,
that.
Tabitha say, yay! Like I'm all for that. She didn't even ask me when the next episode was. But in any event, we really want to delve into that and be honest about our relationship, sister. As always, thank you so much for tuning in. If you would like to help sponsor a show, you'd like to sponsor a show, you can reach out to me at heysisempowerment@gmail.com, or you can give me a call at 826-6278. Thank you so much, and we will see you not next week Sunday, the following Sunday. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you again for more Hey Sis Coffee and Conversation.